Hey everybody, how you doing? Esther here.
Hello, this is Tom.
And today on Optimize Your Emotional Intelligence, aka recognize and manage your level of crazy with EQ when dealing with techniques of meditation. So Tom and I went on this beautiful walk this morning. Tom wanted to share this amazing meditation that he learned from medical medium.
That's correct.
And it was such a cool meditation, and we're going to show you, he's going to explain a little bit about it and why it's so powerful. And then we're going to talk about some of the takeaways that we got from this. And hopefully this could be an EQ tool for you guys and can really create some healing.
Yeah. The meditation is can be done on your own or with a partner or with a group of friends. It involves gathering up what we call twigs. So, and the meditation is called snapping twigs. So, in essence, you just, it's very simple. Just go to any park or any place where you walk that you feel comfortable in and start looking and gathering up twigs. The twigs need to be easy enough to snap with your fingers. They shouldn't be big twigs. They shouldn't be hard to break. They should be easy enough to just snap, okay? And where you can just hear that little snap. And you'll see you can gather as few as 3, 4, or 5 twigs, or you can gather as many as you want. Medical medium also talks about, Anthony Williams talks about the number 9 and a multiple of 9, and I find that really fascinating. I don't fully understand the deepest meaning of that significance, but I think then you can play around with multiples of 9 twigs. So it just helps to enhance the meditation. And then once you've gathered your twigs and you found a nice quiet place to sit by yourself or with a partner, you can begin snapping the twigs. And they can make this little sound. And when you snap the twigs, you just want to listen, intently to the sound. I know we have noise in the background, you have children playing, but you can still put your focus on the snapping of the twig. And the significance here, and I encourage people to go to medicalmedium.com and listen to Anthony William talk about this, that it has a deep resonance. This snapping gets put into our system in a way that helps our system to really, relax. I find it very relaxing when we did it today with Esther, and we took our mind off of other things and we were very present to what was going on in a simple activity of just snapping the twigs. And you just sat there, we just sat there and did it for a while until we finished snapping the twigs that we had gathered. And I think it just made us feel really relaxed. It was just another technique that I've never heard of and never thought about. And it just connected me back to nature. And I think Esther has some things about it that she'd like to say that she discovered. So I'll turn it over to you now, Esther, based on after now explaining what we did.
Yeah, it was really great. One of the things that I noticed is that as you're sitting here, and I would suggest that as you're doing the snapping, that you take turns doing the snapping, because when you sit and listen to the crack, you will notice that each step of the way was a different sound. And you can hear each other's sounds. Now, the other thing I noticed, and this I want to talk about how it relates to life, right? Each part of the stick has a different sound. And so isn't that interesting? Because it's kind of like in life, every stage of ourselves, there's a different feeling, there's a different experience. There's a different sound, different smells, because we are growing, we are developing, we are transforming. And so it really brought me to that feeling of, wow, how interesting is this, that even, breaking twigs can relate back to ourselves and our life. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that when you pick a twig Tom mentioned early on that you should pick twigs that are easy to snap. Now, I found myself picking up a twig that I thought was really good and easy, but what I found was that it was really intense and it was really hard to break. And I found myself struggling to break it, and I was like, no, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it. And what I realized was, isn't that interesting? That I'm suffering, I'm causing my own suffering instead of picking up another twig that's easier and simpler. Now, and that just like in life, right? We pick maybe a situation or partners or projects or whatever it is that are just hurting us. They're really hard to do. They're almost like they're just too hurtful to us. And it's not to say that we should only pick projects and sticks that are just so easy that it doesn't require effort and it doesn't require us to grow. No, we should take on always challenging things. But it's just to say that if it's something that's hurting us, and that twig was literally starting to hurt me, it was time to let go of the twig and get a new one.
Yeah, maybe let go of some of the things you're being stuck in, you know, some of the things that in life are causing you lots of resistance, and learning just to like surrender to, hey, I don't have to work with this twig, I'll just go to the next one.
I don't have to suffer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, and like I like the idea too but it does take the act of, you know, still staying with the twig, and the twig is like, you know, you're persistent, you're just here, you're present. And when you were mentioning this, you know, the twig didn't grow immediately to this size. It took time to get to this size. So whenever we're breaking on the twig, it's different stages of the twig's life. So when you were mentioning that, I thought that's pretty amazing. So simple meditation. Many of you might be laughing at us like, what the hell are they talking about, breaking twigs? You can blame AW for that, but I think what he's trying to teach us is really powerful. There's some healing benefits that I don't fully understand, but the sound in these twigs, and if we take the time to do this, can have deep resonating healing responses in our bodies and our souls.
And such a powerful meditation. I really found it relaxing, and it just kind of like brought you back into this moment of just presence and just peace. And we got to talk and, you know, communicate about a couple things. And it was just and we walked and did it. It was just, you can sit, you can walk, you can do so many things. It's such a great tool.
Great.
So thank you for introducing us today.
You're welcome.
And thank you to AW.
Yes. Yes. All right.
So with that, as always,
when we know better, we do better. When what we resist persists.
And when you know and understand yourself, the world will know and understand you too. And remember, what's the best that can happen? Okay, guys, have a good one.